It is for this farm that we are here, and therefore we are at the entrance to the farm. We are going together with you to make this visit, this unique visit, this fabulous visit to see what one of our compatriots is doing quite interesting on this site in Nangbeto. Dear internet friends who are used to following us in debate, we welcome you. Today, especially, we are not on the set, but rather we have traveled within the country. We are almost 200 kilometers from Lomé and now in Nangbeto. When you mention this name, it's symbolic. We are talking about the Nangbeto Dam, a project managed by Togo and Benin through the CEB. Most of the times, we talk about Nangbeto fish we often see at the Agbonu crossroad in Atakpame. And currently, we are here in Nangbeto to visit a project of a compatriot, a rather interesting one. A compatriot who has decided to fall back inland to start an agricultural project. So today, that is what we are here for in Nangbeto. As you can see the water behind us very well. So today, that is what we are here for in Nangbeto. As you can see the water behind us very well, we will spend a few hours discussing and touring this magnificent project. The main objective is first of all to put a spotlight on what is being done here, and also to inform those who follow us and to make our compatriots abroad understand that there are many things that are happening in the country in terms of some individuals. We are here for a few hours and we will take the opportunity to visit this farm and its infrastructures and everything that is done here. The entire team has moved here to serve you as we just arrived and will be here throughout the whole day touring the farm. So together, follow us to our tour of this facility, Lofty Farm, a wonderful one created here in Nangbeto, which produces tilapia. So welcome and get connected. Here we are at the entrance to Lofty Farm. As you can see behind me is this factory which is working. It is the tilapia production unit from the feed mill, deep freezing. We are at the entrance of the factory. Soon we'll meet the people in charge of this project, a fairly gigantic project, to see what they are doing here and what's the impact. We are here because of this farm, and therefore we are at the entrance. Together with you, we are going to make this visit a fabulous and unique one to see what one of our compatriots is doing quite and interesting things on this site in Nangbeto. We continue our visit to this site as we get to the heart of the matter, and here we are going to cross the river. This is a pumping station that provides water. Here we will take the motorized canoe to visit the cages where there are tilapia, and so we leave as a team to the Director General, the promoter and all his team. There are cages that are 2 kilometers away from here. These are the first cages, as you can see. So we will go through all this later before heading back to the factory to see what is going on there. We'll be having our conversations on the river, around the cages, and so on and so forth. What is there in these separations?
So in these separations, they are actually cages. They are built homemade cages. There are 5 where we house the fry freshly brought from Lome who have finished their growth that we bring here to grow again for 6 weeks before sending them to the cages. Young people, there are about 20 of them there. Hey, this is where we take them at the size of 10 grams to send them to the final magnification.
Are there several cages on the site here?
Yes, several steps. So there are several stages from Lome where there are the fry. It happens here and it continues until the final stage. Here, the Lome stage is the stage in the production of the larva where they do the sex reversal for 21 days. After 21 days, we send them here and put them into these cages. Now, we have found something better. We started by storing them in basins that we made out of stabilized earth there, so as to have a bit of concrete to have around 3 grams there before sending them directly here. Here are the juvenile cages. They are below 10 grams, the others practically at 10. When it is 10 grams, we sort them and we transport them in the cages of 10 millimeters in diameter. That makes 400 meters cubic. And that we send to the final magnification. When it is 10 grams, we sort them and we transport them in cages of 10 millimeters in diameter. That makes 400 meter cubic.
Here we are at the intermediate stage. How many months does it take?
From the birth of the fish until its release, that is to say until the final magnification, it lasts about 8 months. So here we spend about 2 months or 10 weeks from Lome until now. So here we spend about 2 months or 10 weeks from Lome until now, about 10 weeks, and then we send them there for 6 months. This is what makes 5.5 or 6 months. If the feeding is effective, of course, in those cages there are at least 50 to 60,000 per cage here.
60,000?
Yes. Okay, now for the final magnification, we load 32 or 35,000 in cages of 400 millimeters cube, and then we take 3 to make 1. We assume that there may be mortality for 5%, and we are around 95 or 100,000 to do the final magnification on the other side.
Wow, what is their food?
Well, their food is called provinde. It's made up of cornmeal, soya beans, and you see the pellets? They are really small pellets. You ask what it does. It's a composition of corn, soya bean meal, cornmeal, and cassava, or you can say cosep, plus some possibly fish meal. This is what it's made up of. The bottom line is that when you put food like that, it floats on the water. Buoyancy is very important. These are small seeds. We will have to do it more in front. So buoyancy is very important because when you throw and it falls, remember that the depth here is over 10 millimeters. So it even escapes fish. Maybe it's the big fish below that benefits. This is what makes buoyancy so important.
Donc ça échappe aux poissons même. Donc c'est les poissons, peut-être les gros poissons qui sont en dessous, qui en bénéficient. C'est ça qui fait qu'on tient beaucoup pour la flottabilité.
So now, how many quantity of food does the fish consume in the tank here? You said it's 60,000 species.
Yes, here it takes at least 20 kilogram bags per day. This is a really negligible step. It does not consume too much, but there are cages over there which take 500 kilograms per day. Yes, we have it
There
there.
we are with the life jacket. It must have the vagaries of nature, the rain and anything you can imagine. The rising water too. How do you deal with that? First, the staff who are here.
Well, the young people who are here are being trained by ourselves. These are people who wanted to work with us. We trained them first at the center at Novella Star and then seconded them to work here. It makes everyone really know what they are here for. Now, for the hazards we are talking about, when it's raining, those who are here are not protected. They have to retreat to the coast, and you just have to close the food thing. Well, we always look at the time. We don't feed them in the rain. We feed when there is sun or when there is no rain. When there is sun, it is better. They eat a lot. When there is not, it is fine. It is day to day. Now for the rising water, when there is raw material, our cages float. When the water is rising, the cages rise. Here at the moment, we are 12 millimeters deep. There may be times when you are at 24 or 30 millimeters.
The center is there. How is the site surveillance carried out? Is there a security problem?
Well, surveillance of the scene, you saw the motorized boat there. The motorized boat is there. It is for the night brigade. We have teams stationed here now, but on the other side over there, we made a little shelter. The people in it, yes, a team of supervisors. And at night, we lit up everywhere and they take their boats to sail. When someone is sleeping, we wake him up. Now, the fish here can't be stolen because it's not too big. It is the other side that is possible. So we made the arrangements. The people are there, they are seated, and the shift changes and the surveillance is going on well while making sure that they support them.
La surveillance se passe bien, tout en s'assurant que ceux-ci leur portent d'appui.
On the river, there are several cages. There are some on both sides. How much area do you occupy?
Well, the area that we occupy today on the water, we are, if it is necessary to count the occupied area without counting the distance, it is that we are around 2 hectares. But if it is necessary to consider these separations, because that separation is very important. That's what sang Ghanaians in Akosombo last year. They have contiguous cages like that, close together up to 2,000. One morning, the fish are all gone. So here, in relation to that, to these experiences, we've made the arrangement. We put them separately. And given these separations, today we occupy about 6 hectares on the water. And our ambition is to go to 10 because we have to complete it, to have that park and so on. Since we started from there, well, if you have to consider all that, I guess it's 6 hectares. Good manners are not to get too close to the turbines, and so we are upstream. That is it.
Pour la bonne truc de la chose, la bonne manière, c'est de ne pas trop se rapprocher des turbines. Donc on est en amont et voilà.
Why do you choose this site? Firstly, because you said earlier you had started in Pesi and there the experience did not work too well because the water was salty. It is not too good for the fish, and then there were intrusions from the recipients, people, human predators, the term you used yourself. So why do you choose this site here?
Good for Bessie, as you say. It is that first, the very first downside, the water is not deep enough. Any fisherman can walk around your cage and so on. Either way, they have easy access to the cages. On the other hand, here, first of all, it is remote from the city and there are not enough fishermen at wrecks, as you can see on the other side, and the depth is there too. I would have learned in the past from one of our colleagues up there. Someone was going to steal in his cage. The guards arrested him. He fell into the water. He was found 3 days after that. So that makes people not having fun here. It is regulated. There is already a control that the state itself has put in place to monitor the dam. So that also comes to us in support. That makes difficulties of flights and others are more pruned. Now to come to how we did get here, as you are saying, we had some contingencies on the other side, so we chose to come here, but we don't pay nothing to the CEB, and the CEB in the construction of the dam and in the specifications, there was this clause which indicates that people must do fish farming, irrigation, in any case market gardening and others. So all that there is part of the dam allocation. This is what we are doing today. But I believe that we were at the validation workshop the last time for the lake, and it was agreed that we must start anyway by paying small fees that have not yet been stated to allow the supervisors to self-sufficiency. That is to say, paying for fuel and other things and little things to do so that we are not dependent on anyone. So far, we have not paid the CEB anything.
We have finished the first stage of our trip, where there are juveniles, the intermediate fish. We continue to the other cages, where the fishes are matured. Then we'll ask the promoter further questions here. See you soon.